Hey everybody, how's it going? Kyle back here with another lesson, and today we are doing 42. Now, not much to say here for the intro other than the majority of this song is obviously, for piano-wise, is that first half. The second half, there's not really any piano in there aside from the ending, and then of course the little tack piano in the background. I'm going to show you what to play for the entire song if you want to play the entire song all the way through, but the majority of it is this first half right here. All right, so we're going to get started with the first verse here, and this is pretty repetitive. There's a few changes throughout, the first minute and a half of the song. But we'll start off with the chords first. And actually, I'll mention too before getting into it, the whole pattern here for the right hand is you're playing, when you have a chord, you're playing the top two notes in your right hand, and then you're playing your thumb, just bouncing back and forth between the two. So that's the pattern here the entire time, at least for the verses and for the outro. So, first chord is F, G sharp, C. Second chord, E flat, G, C. And your third chord, E, G, B flat, C. So playing it, you're going to play the first chord 8 times, then the second and third 4 times each. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so there is a change the second time around. And what he's doing is he's just following the vocal melody. And he does this in the album version and live version. The album version is tough to hear, so if you listen to the instrumental, you can hear it a little bit clearer. But he does it pretty not so subtle in the live version. He just follows that vocal melody. So what you're going to do is start off the same way. So you're playing those 2 notes, thumb, 2 notes, and then immediately going up the C to a C sharp. Play that with the G sharp. So and, since, I, and then fell, back down to the C, and then just continue on. And then right here, I am living. So that's the G sharp and C, G sharp, C sharp, and then G sharp, E flat with the C in the middle. Same thing, just following that vocal melody. So, since I fell, and for that spell, and then I am living. Play that twice, so. And then there as well. From here, same thing as before. Right, moving on to the second part of the verse. Sounds like this. Now you're going to start off with 4 individual notes in your right hand: E, F, F sharp, and G. Now we'll go into the next few chords. Going to add a left hand in here. Left hand is C sharp octaves. Right hand is F, G sharp, C sharp. And you're following that same pattern. So right hand is playing those 2 higher notes, then the thumb, and just bouncing back and forth. So we'll play that 4 times, then switch to your next chord. Left hand, just a single note, G sharp. Right hand, E flat, G sharp, C. Play that 4 times as well. And this is the time is so short, that part right there. Now the third chord. Left hand C octaves, right hand E, G, C. And then same thing here, but what you're going to do is after you play this E twice, you're going to move it up to an F, play that twice, and then end with just G and C. So 1, 2, 3, 4, just like that. All right, so there is the first verse, which just repeats for the second verse, or maybe it's all one verse, don't really know, but either way, that whole thing just repeats, same exact thing. a few changes here. So left hand, if you want to add that in there, which I usually do, I just play a single note F right there for that first chord. So this is where the drums come in. So I play F in my left hand for the first chord. And then for the second and third chord, I play C octaves. Kind of just playing them when you transition or right before you transition. You can play like this higher C than the lower one. Then once again, just repeat. Sometimes for the live version, he'll add that little melody in there, the little walk up, but then you just repeat the same thing. Then right here in the album version, you can hear the same thing as before, but this time he does it an extra time. So it's and since I fell for that spell, and just same thing as before. So second verse, literally same as the first verse. You just add left hand in there if you want. It'd be F for the first chord, C octaves for the second and third chord. And you can add that little extra melody in there if you want. Same thing for this next part. So time is so short. All right, now for this part, the second time around, I actually switch things up a little bit. So instead of playing E, G, C in the right hand, I take this E and move it up here, play G, C, E, and then follow the same pattern. So you're moving this E up to F, and then up to G. And then once you land on that G, just hit everything you have. So left hand C octaves, right hand G, C, G. That way is actually the way I learned it years and years ago, and I like the sound of that better. Just the sheet music book did say it was down here a little bit, and if you listen to the album version, it does sound like it's a little bit lower, but I like playing that the second time around higher. Plus it makes it easier to transition to this next part. So this is the second, after the something more. This part sounds like this. All right, so once you land on that G right there, transition to the next part. Left hand moves to C sharp octaves. Right hand's gonna be G sharp, C sharp, F. Then same pattern once again, just bouncing back and forth. And you're gonna play the chord twice. So then right hand transitions to B flat, E flat, G. Same thing, play it twice. Left hand stays right where it is. Right hand now moves up to C, F, and G sharp. This time you're going to play it 4 times before shifting down. Left hand down to C octaves. Right hand C, E, G. Play this 4 times as well. And then move that E down to an E flat. And you can either end there, or you can continue playing it while getting quieter. Alright, so let me get to the part of the song where everything switches up. There's no piano here, but I'm going to show you real quickly what I play, and then we'll get into it. All right, so left hand, I'm not really doing anything specific other than just jumping around from F octaves, this low one here, then up to this one right here. So the first 3 Fs on the keyboard, just kind of jumping back and forth, sometimes playing both, sometimes just kind of bouncing my pinky and thumb back and forth. If you want, you can play the bass line. It involves those 3 Fs as well. So let's call this lowest F right here. That's 1, here's 2, then there's 3. What you can do is you can play 2, 3, and then 2, 1, and then 2, 3, 2, 3. So alone that sounds like. Then you can just keep repeating that if you want. I tend to just stick with going back and forth between those 2 F octaves. Right hand, not really mimicking anything other than just kind of the snare and just staying on tempo, staying in key, just playing C and F. So you play that a few times, and then it changes to right here, just adding a G sharp in there. Left hand's gonna go to G sharp octaves. All right, so now the guitar comes in. Left hand back to F octaves. Right hand's gonna play C and A, C and F, C and G, and then C and F. Now for the next part, obviously we can't bend a piano like we can a guitar string, so we're gonna go from C and F to C and G, C and G sharp, and then back down to C and G, and then down to C and F. And sometimes too, I won't come back down to that G, I'll just play C and G, C, G sharp, and then just C and F. But if you want to get that full bend effect in there, just do that. So you play that twice, then the third time you're going to add that G sharp in with the C and F. Play that with left hand F octaves. Then on the last half of that, switch the left hand to G sharp octaves. And then just repeat. So same thing, repeat that part twice. So this part's great because for the rest of the song, you have like these kind of 3 sections here. This part here, and then you have like when the guitar comes in heavy, and then the ending part. And everything just repeats twice. So once you play it through once, you play the same exact thing. So we play that, and then we get into the guitar solo. This is what I do for that. So it sounds like this. So once again, left-handed just doing F octaves, and then I'm not really sure measure-wise where it is, but right toward the end, it switches to the G sharp octaves. Right hand, pretty simple melody here. You're just going down from C sharp to C, to B flat, and then to A. And then up here to E flat. Back down to A, and then just repeat that. So C sharp, C, B flat, A, E flat, A. Then play the same thing again. Third time, same exact thing. This time you're moving the A down to an A flat, G sharp. Then the fourth time you move that down to a G. So same notes, playing it 4 times. This first and second time you're on A. The third time you're on G sharp. Fourth time on G. Then once you land on that G in the right hand, that's when the left hand shifts to the G sharps. same thing. Repeat that again a second time. For me personally, I like to add octaves in here this time. So add this higher one in here as well. Then for the A right there, or the lower note, whether it's the A, G sharp, or G, I'll play it twice sometimes. All right, now we get to a part of the song where it yet again changes up on us. Sounds like this. So all I'm doing here is following the vocal melody, and if you actually listen to the song, especially the instrumental, you can hear there's a tag piano in here doing pretty much the same thing. Left hand, just 2 octaves. It's G sharp and then C sharp, and I'm just kind of hammering on those a little bit, and then once we get to like the dun dun dun, that part there, just play those like that. Right hand, first chord G sharp, E flat, then it's going to be G sharp and F. Play that twice. Once your left hand moves down to C sharp octaves, right hand C sharp, G sharp. Then it's going to be C sharp and B flat, C sharp and F. Once again, just following that vocal melody. So you didn't get to heaven, but you made it close, that part. Then we repeat that whole thing again. This time, for this part right here, just gonna follow the vocal melody once again. It's C sharp and C, C sharp and B flat, C sharp and G sharp. And once again, just go back to the C and go back down. And then from here, you can keep playing this piano out like this. What I did in my cover was I switched to like the guitar. This is where the guitar comes in. It's the same thing. I go up and I play octaves. So left hand's playing the same thing. Right hand I switch to just octaves, so E flat octaves, then to F. And same thing here. So just individual notes, but playing octaves. And once again, you just repeat that same thing if you want, and then you can end on same thing as before, the C, B flat, G sharp. I come up here and play it with both hands instead of playing it with one hand, because you're going to want to be in this exact position for the outro, which sounds like this. Alright, so the outro is very easy to play. Left hand and right hand are playing the same exact thing. Right hand, you're back to that pattern of back and forth. Left hand is just playing the entire chord when you change the right hand. So our first chord is F, G sharp, C. And then what you're going to do with both hands is you're going to walk this F down to E, down to E flat, and then land on D. Everything else stays the same. So we're back and forth, back to the beginning right here. So left hand, once again, you're just playing the entire chord when that right hand starts. So play that 4 times. Right here, down to E, play that 4 times. Down down to E flat 4 times, and then you land here on the D, G sharp, C in the left, and then D, G sharp, C in the right. I add this F back in there, but you could also just end on that if you want as well. But there's the outro right there. All right, so that does wrap it up for 42. However, I do want to show you a live outro variation he does, specifically for left, right, left, right, left, although I think he did it a couple times throughout the Viva tour. Sounds like this. So all it is it's the same outro as before. Left hand's a little bit more involved. You're not just playing it once with transitioning, you know. A little more involved there. Right hand, same thing. You're just going down. But this high C right here is doing the same thing we did in the intro when you kind of follow the melody. So you're just following the vocal melody. So, and since I fell for that spell, I am living there. So you're just going up from C to C sharp, E flat, C sharp, C, but you're keeping the same thing as the outro. So don't forget to move the F down to the E, down to the E flat. So right hand alone, slow, sounds like this. Then just continue on like normal, but you're just doing that melody. Once you get down to E, you're just playing the rest of that. Just that part right there. That's very fun to play, so I enjoy playing that one as well. Also, real quick, there's a few performances where you can hear him play that. He just kind of bounces back and forth with that right hand E flat. And this is how you can tell this is that Chris Martin piano sound, just that specific thing right there. It just sounds so good. I love that. Anyway, that does it for 42. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Be sure to check out my cover as well as the Synthesia only cover / tutorial. That way, if anything here is confusing you can just actually see the individual notes coming down. You can rewatch that instead of listening to me ramble for a half hour or however long this tutorial is going to be. All right, that's the lesson. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one.